Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. You are watching StarSeries. It is of course Season 7. We are in Day 13. This is Game 1 from the 4 games that we're gonna see today. And we're starting off with a good one because we're starting off with Russian Dota. We're starting off with Duza on the Dire side, Poseidon on the Radiant side. I hope that this is not gonna be the same situation as the Russian showdown that we saw on Monday when Poseidon was up against Empire, when that was a 70-minute game. I hope that Duza can at least be a bit more aggressive here, as we're hoping that they're going to be able to pick up the Doom. Of course, I'm not by myself for today. I actually have got, or at least the first time that we are casting together, but not of course the first time that my co-caster is casting. You probably have heard from him. He casts for Beyond the Summit quite a bit, and of course I'm talking about Lysander Sonora. Welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, hi, it's Lysander, but yeah.
Lysander, sorry.
Glad to be here. Yeah, glad to be here. Russian Dota is some awesome stuff. I had a little bit of time to cast some of that during the course there when the studio couldn't take it. So I had a little bit of a taste of that. It was interesting, lots of aggression. And I've heard of Duza, haven't really heard of Poseidon. And actually this is my first time casting any kind of star ladder. So I'm for this. So looking forward to good games.
Me too. We have got a, of course, I mean, just talking about the rest of the games for today as well, we've got a very good matchup for tonight, very good lineup. After this game, we're gonna watch Next KZ versus Aspera, also two games that are just producing great games to watch, regardless of the outcome. Fnatic versus the Lions, probably the blockbuster of the night, and also, I guess also, I think it's also a blockbuster because Virtus Pro versus Quantic, definitely a strong one as well. I actually, for Duza, they're the team that qualified for StarSeries. And when I casted them, they played a lot of Doom, and they have played a lot of Doom in the season as well. Oh, there it's banned out. Well, that's a shame. I was gonna say, because normally they pick up Doom fairly early on. But I guess with the Razor already banned out in the first one, they really wanted to have that OD. They had the first pick. They have the habit of letting IO go through. They're not afraid to face IO. And we're gonna see Limbo play a tiny
You're talking about Duza? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they certainly do have some interesting picks. So I'm seeing a tiny third pick here. So Duza, the only other time I saw them play, I can't remember what team they were going up against. It was also Star Ladder. Was it Star Ladder? I'm not so sure, but they did go for some cheesy push strat that didn't really work out for them. They went for Prophet Tinker. Yeah, they did something cheesy like that. It didn't really work out for them, but I've heard great things about them because, well, first of all, they are playing in the same bracket as the rest of the pros, so they must have some standard. So looking forward to playing them. Poseidon, I did hear the name being tossed about here and there. I see some guys like Jotam, Jotm. He is a very popular streamer on Twitch, I believe. So
yeah, and of course the one that you see in the drafter slot is actually Illidan Storm Rage. So that's Airman right there, ISAD or 8210. That's how he likes to go lately. So that's Illidan. Anxi, indeed, a former Virtus Pro, of course, as well. And I believe Release Yourself is actually Tamar Wild, but I'm not entirely sure. We have to check that when we're inside the game, see if the Steam profile reveals anything. But it should be Tamar Wild because Poseidon actually is ex-Virtus Pro for 3 of the players. And they have got Medved, indeed, JOTM, in the in a slot, as well as Sakura, who is actually a Swedish stand-in. Elite was one of their official pickups. I believe Sakura, I mean, he's played with Poseidon now for most of the games for StarSeries over the last week or so. So I believe that he is now maybe part of their full roster, but they never actually tag up. So there's no way for us to really know if they indeed.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting a little bit used to the bans here because Poseidon, they banned out Abaddon, they banned out Batrider, they banned out Naga, they banned out Doom. I guess Doom is a respect ban here, and I'm very used to casting Southeast Asian Dota, Chinese Dota. So, well, the bans are definitely different here because we see a CK ban, we see PL ban. Well, understandable, the CK because of the Wisp, but there's a PL now because of the Kotal as well. But you don't usually see an Abaddon first ban here in Southeast Asia. It's rarely picked as well. Southeast Asia is still living a little bit behind the times. So we're gonna see if they do catch on, but this is a different matter of drafting for me. And we see Timbersaw picked up. That'll be very, very good against Tiny, who is of course a strength-based carry, and he will be losing a lot of HP from that Walling Death. Yeah, and well, you guys that don't know, it does reduce the strength before taking damage, so it does do a lot of damage to Tiny. It can be very, very fatal.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of worried at the moment for Poseidon's lineup though, because they've got a Timbersaw Nature's Prophet, both good heroes, but both need a startup time. Both need that laning phase, or at least Nature's Prophet needs a hand of Midas. Timbersaw needs a decent laning phase. And right now I'm not sure if Timbersaw can be the dominant mid to hold off for an OD, because I'm expecting actually Timbersaw to be up against the OD in the mid lane, so that Poseidon can still pick up a different carry. And then a tiny safe lane with Crystal Maiden and Visage. I believe last time we saw Duza play this, they ran it on a safe lane, and with a Clockwork picked up, I think we can expect the same thing there as well. But it's still
for you guys in chat, I'm sorry, I just turned on my Dota TV audio. I always forget to do that. And yeah, go on, sorry.
So if you did not hear just hear Lysander in Dota TV, then you have to just toggle broadcast channels from Swedish, or whatever the Swedish, there's no Swedish broadcast, from Russian to us back, and then you should be able to hear him. Sometimes there's a bit of a bug, but he has to turn it on right now so you can hear him. Lifestealer was the last ban out for Duza. I think a good one, of course, still carry in the pool. Alchemist also still in there. I mean, if Poseidon wants to really go hard on this, they can also pick up a Gyrocopter, which is maybe a bit more aggressive earlier on. It really depends on how much space that Timbersaw can create and how much space Poseidon thinks that Timbersaw can create, assuming that Timbersaw will be indeed in the mid lane.
Yeah, I just like to shout out to this guy in the chat who's been calling Duza running the stone strat, which is kind of ironic because they are Medusa, and Visage, Obsidian, as well as Tiny are kind of stones in their own right. Crystal Maiden, I guess if you guys call Ice Stone. But on a more serious note, I don't really like this Clockwork pick with the Poseidon against the Poseidon lineup. Yeah, because if you look at it here, the only guy that he will be looking to pin down here is of course Nature's Prophet. Look to pull a little bit of Bulba, but other than that, there is a Timbersaw, there is a Wisp, all very capable of leaving the cogs. So I don't see why, apart from that little damage and mana burn, I don't see the reason to actually pick a clock here, because he will actually be more of a burden than a help here. He can use his cogs to actually block out teammates. Timbersaw will take a little bit of damage, but the Whirling Death, like I said, very potent on strength heroes, and you don't really want to be hugging him when you lock him down. So I'm not so sure about this clock pick.
I fully agree. I guess one of the explanations I might be able to offer, I mean, so far we've seen MIB on offlane the whole time, of course. Mostly played Nature's Prophet. I bring probably about 70% of all the games that he played in StarSeries is on the Nature's Prophet. Now, Nature's Prophet was already picked up by Poseidon. The other hero that we've seen him on then is the Bounty Hunter, but Bounty Hunter was the last ban of Poseidon, so very good pick there. And we've seen him, I think, a couple of times on the Clockwork, but I don't think we've seen him playing at any other offlane. So perhaps this is just one that he's comfortable with on lane. We'll see indeed how much it will offer later on. I do think it's quite nice to have up against the Alchemist. If you can cog him in, you can force staff yourself out, then it's definitely a potent thing to have, so that your OD can take care of the Alch. But it really is not the most ideal one, but perhaps it is the most ideal for, it might be the best, of course. Let's go for who's playing what, actually, because of course we have a bit of a pause coming off from Poseidon. But it's okay, I'll go over Poseidon, as they are starting on the Radiant side. We have Illidan, Stormrange, or Airman, or 8210, however you want to call him. He is playing the Alchemist, and he'll be on the carry role. It will be Jotum or Medved playing the IO, KSI or Xi will be playing the Nature's Prophet. The Keeper of Light will be played by Sakura, who is, by the way, at this moment disconnected, and I believe that Release Yourself is actually Tamar Wild, but I'm gonna check that right now just to make sure that we indeed have it right. Let's see. Yes, it is Crazy or Tamar Wild. So there's that. That's their full lineup. Everybody here. Everybody complete. And I'll leave Medusa for you to introduce.
Duza is going to be playing Legion on the OD. Limbo is going to be playing the Tiny. Mib, the best, is going to be on Clockwork. Capron is going to be Visage. And Unstable is going to be Crystal Maiden. Hopefully he's more stable than this, because you need a lot of discipline and positioning to play a Crystal Maiden well. So good luck to him here, especially with Timbersaw and Alchemist running around. It's going to be really easy to die here. So Crystal Maiden will have a work cut out for him. I do see people in chat actually asking why Crystal Maiden was drafted here. If you look at the enemy, well, if you look at the Dire side here, Tiny, he does need that mana regen. He has serious mana problems. The base mana regen from the Brilliance Aura, whatever they call it now, Arcane Aura, will be very useful for him. And there'll be a Clockwork who will be spamming very cheap rockets to try and get last hits, so that is going to be manageable as well because of that Aura. Visage, well, yeah, he does need that mana. OD doesn't really need it, but still, Visage can always use that extra mana regen. You never know when you're going to be short of that 10 mana you didn't have when casting that Soul Assumption. So, all in all, Crystal Maiden's good. She can actually go into the jungle as well with her Frostbite and get some levels up. And she's just a good combo with Tiny. It's a good setup. And just a nice hero overall. So
definitely true, and especially in the early game, of course. Duza is a team that likes, like, around the 6-minute mark. Unstable and Capron will try to find a kill, be that by going behind and going for the behind the tier 1 tower of the lane where they're actually on, or maybe ganking mid. And Crystal Maiden is actually a pretty decent one for that. Of course, she has an AoE slow to get everybody in range, the Frostbite there as well to set up for the rest to even come closer. And I mean, it's a very good early game hero, but that's exactly the key. Early game, that's what a Crystal Maiden is, and later on, as you said, positioning is going to be so incredibly important for the entire team, by the way, because yeah, mobility for Poseidon, definitely on board. Let's see, I think the lanes are not going to be anything that we're going to be surprised about. I'm expecting just for both teams just to have a tri lane, safe tri lane, and an off-lane Clock and an off-lane Nature's Prophet who will roam into the jungle at some point. And of course that's a downside of Duza, because their Clockwork cannot really go into the jungle, so MIB will be forced to sit in this bottom lane, which is not an easy one to be dealing with.
Well, Alchemist, Wisp and Kotal will have a lot of burst damage on him. On the bright side, they don't really have a lot of right click, so they will have to burst him down. The Alchemist has to get up close and personal, but he does have the cogs for that, so he's fortunate in that sense. But otherwise, yeah, he has to watch his positioning a little bit, otherwise he could find himself caught out. But I think it's still going to be pretty difficult for him to die, but now that I've cursed him there, he jinxed him there, he might actually die. So yeah, we're gonna see how well he does there. But all he has to do, though, of course, is just to get close enough for EXP. They won't really be able to phase him out other than just right clicking and getting a lucky Keeper of the Light Blast on him, and you actually see them rotating bottom. They want to try and get a gank on him. I don't know, try and catch him out, but I don't think Mip. They're just, oh wow.
There's already a ward there. Capron went already towards. Oh, I like this.
Oh, prevent the blocking.
Prevent the blocking. Just clear out those trees. No more dance party, as Vikraman likes to call it. Yeah. Good luck with that.
So I guess Duza are known for their cheesy plays. I guess I'm not so sure. I don't really cast a lot of Russian Dota. I have never casted Star Ladder before, so you guys forgive me if I'm not really comfortable with these teams. But otherwise, I am gonna try. Yeah, he's still gonna try it. And yeah, the dance party.
He's like,
gone here.
wait a second. There should be a tree there! No! I think most offlane Clockworks actually try to do this. I mean, he does slow the creep wave down a bit, but that's also something that's being done here by Illidan, who managed to pick up an Invis rune. Won't be able to make any plays with it because he can't really give up any farm. But I think our bottom lane is going to be, or middle lane rather, is going to be the most interesting one, assuming that MIB will not let himself get caught out, even though he really wants that experience. He did go for cogs first, so he's kind of safe.
Yeah, I don't think OD should be dying in this lane. Timbersaw has to be careful if he gets over banished, not enough mana for the chain. He could be brought down technically. Sakura is just going to be a little bit of a pest here to Mib. And Mib is just going to ignore his right clicks for now. He has a bit of regen, now he's going to go and cause a bit of retaliation. But Kotal with his 315 is going to be okay. Clockwork just at the same speed will not be able to catch him. Nature's Prophet did fail his first pull there, unable to block the camp, but he did block the stack or pull from Visage, so he's just going to be very irritating there.
Whoa,
oh wow,
a toss in from the Crystal Maiden. Frostbite already used though, he should be able to get out.
Yeah, this is the problem with Tiny. You don't have enough mana for the full combo at level 2, so you do have to wait for a little bit there. Of course, CM was still only a level 1, no Arcane Aura for that quick regen. So if they had a stun there, that would have been the first blood, but very quick reaction from KSI. Did see a little bit of his profit in the International. I believe he did have one very good kill on IX Mike when he trapped in the trees here with a tree, and that's got a first blood. I'm not so sure if you remember that one.
Yeah, I think it was, I think I remember. I think the crowd was kind of happy with it. As they normally are. I think that does mean, like, right now, Xi will be extra careful. I think he had a bit of a taste of what Duza can actually do with that Tiny Crystal Main combination. I would assume that he's going to roam into the jungle pretty soon. See what he can still do with the next set of creeps as, wow, I was going to say. Crazy in the meantime, he is 7 for 3, Legion on 8 for 4, very even in terms of last hits. Sooner rather than later, I think Legion is going to be getting ahead. He should be able to win this lane quite easily and just make make Timbersaw have no mana whatsoever to feel safe and actually throw anything in return for the punches that Legion throws at him.
Yeah, on the other hand, on bottom lane, Illidan's gonna have his very quick Midas. He's already at 1.2, and he has gone for the 2 points in the greed there. He's taking a little bit of harassment here from the creep wave, but he's gonna have that Midas very quick. I would say about 3 minutes 30 seconds tops. The next creep wave he should have enough. Nah, another 2 more creep waves. So about 3 minutes he will have his 4 minutes he will have his Midas, and that's gonna be a very quick snowball for the Alchemist, especially if he does get a kill or a few neutral last hits. That's gonna be very fast. Of course, if the mid doesn't jack the bottle. Release yourself. He's still sitting okay. He's running out of int, so he will not be able to cast out those Whirling Death with one more banish onto him. I think Legion is just waiting for the cooldown, and once it gets that banish off, Timbersaw's mid usually don't go for the chain. As you can see now, he's out of the max mana to actually get Whirling Death, so he will not be able to retaliate if the OD does go on him, which is why he has actually gotten 2 points in reactive armor for more regen and more tankability, trying to survive that lane against OD.
In the meantime, MLB was able to get himself up to the 2nd level, so I think that's quite nice, quite decent as well. Even almost level 3, a lot better than maybe Poseidon was expecting him to do. He is quite on par, I believe, with Xidog. Xi level 2 as well. He's slightly ahead, and he's actually going to get a bit of experience coming towards him right now, as Unstable and Capron as well as Limbo are seemingly pushing the lane. So either looking to see if they can do the combination again, aka toss the Crystal Main into the Nature's Prophet and dive with that, and I think they're going to try that. And I think they might be able to, yeah, there goes the toss. In comes the Frostbite. Nova there as well. In comes an Avalanche. That's going to be our first blood. Limbo takes it home. And they will be moving back. The tower is still being tanked by creeps, and that's gonna be Duza getting ahead here in this game.
Yeah, and very unfortunate that the 4 range creeps here do get shot down by the tower. Good micro from the Treants to actually pull the creep wave past, so the tower won't actually go down. With 4 creep waves, you push the creep wave. There are 4 range creeps, you push the creep wave really fast. So very unfortunate that it does go down there. Good thing they saved the catapult, so they will be doing more pressure on this tower. I think KSI has to be very careful. Fortunately for him, Limbo is out of mana right now, so he will be looking to regen up. Limbo has 1.7k. We're gonna see what he goes for. Possibly a Midas. No, he goes for Treads. So Limbo is not gonna play greedy here. He knows what he needs there. Unstable, gonna lose his Clarity Potion, but he is at full mana now, so it's gonna be okay. Meanwhile, middle lane, out of mana again.
Yeah, no surprise there. Yeah, I think no Hand of Midas for Tiny is a good choice. You can't really hope to keep up with the farming Alchemist that has Grievel's Greed and the Hand of Midas. You can play the greed game, but you're not gonna win, you know that. So Limbo is just gonna try to, with his team, get as much advantage as they can in the time they have before Alchemist is too big. And we know that Duza likes to do that. They just like to go for pushes. At some point they'll try to go for 5-man pushes and see if they can take themselves a win with that.
Yeah, and your statman just said that this is crazy. I believe that's him on Timber, right?
Yes, it is.
Crazy. Crazy has played Timbersaw twice before, and he has not won any of them. So this is his 3rd time playing Timbersaw in competitive play. So he has not been having too much luck with that, but the Sausage Dog is gonna pass him his item right now. Hopefully, the 3rd time is a charm, and Haste Rune will be spotted up by the clock. So it's gonna be stolen again. He's not gonna get that rune, so he probably should just head back.
Oh, nicely denied from Mayo though. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Jotum play pubs quite a bit. I've seen his stream once in a while. It does get pretty high up there, and he's kind of a pub star, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. If there's no other Russian streamers, I mean, I believe Dread and Dendies will still get more, but Jotum definitely one that gets a lot of the Russian viewers on his side. And he's actually casting a little bit sometimes as well, so doing pretty nice for himself. And around the 6-minute mark, as expected, rotation incoming. However, there is already a ward just placed again up the high ground. Unstable and Compron hanging around. They were hoping to catch out the point where there's, of course, in theory, no wards on the map, because the first wards have just disappeared and perhaps the supports haven't rotated yet from bottom to try and place the wards on the high ground near the mid lane. But they were not lucky. They're gonna rotate behind the tier 1 tower, but also there Xi realizes that something is wrong. So the predictive pattern of Duza is scouted out by Poseidon. Just by,
Timbersaw actually ferried an observer ward
for
himself.
I saw
I think he had one. Yeah, he had one in inventory early game, or a support passed it to him, but he did blood that ward himself. And of course, KSI did spot the rotations from the two supports there, so their gank's gonna fail. But I'll take a look at Tiny's build here. He does go for a point and grow, and he has 3 points in Avalanche over the toss. And normally you want to go for toss, higher toss over Avalanche, because Avalanche stunts the same at all levels. The damage scaling is a little bit different. You do a little bit more damage with Avalanche, but that cooldown is extremely long. And you really want that toss for higher damage. The range has been changed to be constant throughout, but still you want that toss because the cooldown's a lot shorter. You can do quicker bursts with that. You can chase someone down, and the mana cost is the same, but more damage on the stun is not so good. But then again, it's still personal preference. The same way you can build a Lina where you choose to just put 1 point in Light Strike and go for more points in the go for at least 1 point in the Slayer aura. What's it called? I can't remember what that.
Or Fairy Soul?
Yeah, Fairy Soul. Yeah, Fairy Soul. I don't know why I call it Slayer's aura, but yeah, Fairy Soul. It's a matter of preference and see what you want to combo with. But yeah, this is what we see here. CM up top is gonna be jungling a little bit with her Frostbite, so gonna be able to get some good levels and EXP. Already hitting level 5 here.
Yeah, of course. In a game like this where there's 2 safe lanes, the support levels are actually quite important because, okay, the carriers are gonna free farm. Okay, that's the deal. Then in the mid, this is actually kind of a wash, 46 for 19 for the OD, with Crazy sitting on 37 for 6, so slightly in favor of OD, but as expected by the matchup. So one thing that we can look for is which support duo gets ahead. So far Unstable is level 5, Capron sitting at level 4, Keeper of Light sitting at level 4 with Io at level 6. And that's the biggest difference right now. We have got a level 6 on Io. Of course, level 6s are important for mostly Io and Visage in this game for the supports, but Visage of course still very far off. There needs a full level for that one. And with the relocate now already on the map, we might see Poseidon getting a bit more aggressive. And yes, they are already relocating top. They want to go for Limbo. TP incoming from KSI as well, who gets tossed still. Limbo though is sprouted up and killed off. See, getting his revenge. And the fierce relocate already used. And of course, Illidan involved in a fight for that one. Which is a
KSI gets a deny on that tower as well. But I think that was partly Tiny being a little bit out of position. He was pretty low. Due to that, and I was about to say the Alchemist gang will not work out too well because of only 1 point in stun, but it did work out in the end because of the burst damage from the Wisp Spirits. But still, I feel that Unstable Concoction at 1 doesn't really do that much damage, so I was thinking, yeah, it's gonna fail a little bit, and of course it does delay a little bit of the Alchemist farm. But now that, like I said, he had a very early Midas, and he's gonna be skyrocketing very soon. If you look at his GPM, he's sitting at 488, 492 now.
Yeah, which is very high considering we're only 10 minutes into this game. Tiny's still doing really well, but that's because he got the first blood. That's why he is so high up. I mean, he's sitting on 2700 gold. I'm kind of curious to see what he's going to go for. I mean, if he wanted to Blink Dagger, he could have already gotten it. I think lately when we've seen Duza play Tiny, we've seen Limbo play Tiny. I believe he goes for Yasha first, but also that he could already have started. So I'm quite surprised that he hasn't picked up anything just yet. And of course, I think he got a bit surprised by Io already being level 6. He wasn't expecting that, and I mean, it was only just level 6, and I don't think he's shown himself on the map since he got his level. So, good gank from Poseidon overall. And we have the gold graph slightly in favor of Poseidon, only a little bit though. I mean, it's actually back to 0 again. This is quite interesting because there is an Alchemist with the Hanamitis that was very early, with Unstable Concoction at level 4, and still Duza is able to keep it even, which is pretty impressive. I think we can contribute a bit to that also to the Keeper of the Light, who basically doesn't have anything apart from boots. While the other supports will have more.
Picks up a Claymore, so we're gonna see if he goes into Shadowblade, which I think might be a little bit unlikely because he does have Wisp to initiate for him, but he still might want to go for the solo killing potential the Shadowblade does give you, and of course the escape is always nice, but I think he might be going a little bit greedy here. Illidan might pick up a Battle Fury. I don't know, it's just a hunch, but I think he's gonna go full greed here because right now
he looks full
OD is nice, but you can't really push with OD, and Tiny's the only push about. Oh, Limbo picks up his Shadowblade, so he's going for the Shadowblade. Timber is gonna take a full combo to the face. Visage will take that right click and bring him down, but yeah, like I said, Tiny, he needs to get pickups like these, otherwise he's their only pushing power. I mean, OD does nothing to towers. Visage, yeah, he's a little bit okay. Clockwork, CM, all useless against towers, and with a Keeper of the Light on the field, I think that Poseidon has a really good shot at taking this if they do drag it late, and they can drag it late, so Alchemist might be going greed mode here. I could be wrong. No, he's going for Shadow Blade. So
I was
not going
hoping for Shadow Blade. I mean, it's of course. I mean, it's still Russian Dota. They still want to get those skills on the board, and they still want to try to fight fire with fire. And of course, if Limbo is going to try to force out some fights, well, at least Illidan will be ready to join him. Limbo, of course, like you said, I mean, he is the one to be pulling this off for Duza. He also needs that Aghanims to push faster.
Yeah,
we're gonna see.
Shadow Blade is actually pretty good because it does give you a lot of attack speed that Tiny desperately needs, and of course the good initiation is always nice. But this will of course get the force the supports to buy out sentries, and he could get caught out that way with a little bit of overconfidence. But the Shadow Blade is a good pickup because he doesn't have any other Invis heroes or Shadow Blade carriers on his team. So pick up the Shadow Blade, it's a good idea, and I think in this case it's slightly better than Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Shadow Blades, the Nature's Prophet probably wants to get one as well, because he has got his Hand of Midas sitting on 1k gold. So, in terms of saying the same thing for Poseidon, they will have 2 Invis heroes, so there will already be some sentries up. Actually, talking about sentries, there's one place in the middle for Poseidon. They're expecting a rotation from Limbo. Limbo, however, I mean, he's rotating, yeah, he is doing that one. He is rotating bottom. Oh, actually, this is a dire sentry, what am I saying? The Radiant sentry is already on the bottom lane. It's about to disappear, though. We'll see if Limbo can still dodge it, and if the smoke targets can still dodge it, as we have now 4 people of Duza on this bottom lane. So they're gonna look for some action here, and they're gonna look for some kills, as the sentry ward does scout out the sentry ward of Poseidon, but it just vanished. The pings still come out.
I don't think Ayo will be caught out here. He probably would TP out soon. Jotum, yeah, Legion does. No, Legion is put a small place. So
Legion is middle though. That was a sentry ward battle that they smiled about.
Sakura might not be smiling now. He's gonna get killed, toss, stun, and he's dead. Oh no!
One more
just
hit.
gonna be fibbing there. Nope.
Just punch.
Doesn't matter.
Punch
Saves the stun.
face.
Very good control here by the Tiny.
Yeah, Satire helps a bit with revealing that the Timbersaw is around there, but Timbersaw with the Haste Rune, you can't really hope to chase a Timbersaw normally, let alone with a Haste Rune, so good luck with that. They're gonna just try and take the tower. I think that should be safe. We still have Jotun sitting around here, but either Poseidon is gonna fight back and then he'll do something, or he should TP himself out. But Duza has no idea that he is still sitting there, so they're not even gonna try to check probably, unless he shows his balls.
Wow, he is actually gonna just charge it up, and I think it just run in and explode onto them. Is he gonna do that though? It's gonna be pretty ballsy play now. He's gonna
nah, he's TP mid. Good choice.
Yeah. No way he could save that tower, and now it's gonna be a fight middle. Dive structures are fortified, so they are gonna gonna fight this.
They're gonna fight
this. Tiny. Jotum
more TP's coming in. It's gonna be too late though. The exit is too fast from Poseidon. They can't take it anymore. So Poseidon sitting behind our tier 1. But this is the kind of play that we're used to from Duza. It's like, okay people, it's 15 minutes in, we're ready, we're gonna try and push down all the towers, we're grouping up. They just were with 4 bottom, took down the tier 1 tower, now they're with 5 mid. And if they're not gonna get the tower here, that's a lot of wasted time on their side.
Yep, and I feel that they should push this tower. I mean, Sakura isn't really that high in the levels just yet. He's level 6, he has 2 points in Illuminate. It's not the best in pushing away creep waves. This is the best time to toss that CM in, pick up that Caudal, and take towers. Because once you let that Caudal hit max Illuminate, that's when you're gonna have problems pushing a bit your towers. And you have a lot of problems when you're dealing with a fat Alchemist. Alchemist is really getting there. He's going for a fast BKB. Picks up a Mithril Hammer now.
Yeah, and he's pretty close. He has already got the Ogre Club if he wants to as well, so he farms like a beast right now. I mean, he's sitting, of course, highest on net worth, almost 3k higher than Limbo on his Tiny. Limbo, who is sitting on 2k gold, really hoping that he is gonna get that Aghanims, because the push, I mean, you already mentioned late game, Duza is not looking too good, so they really need to start making things happen and getting that advantage going. I mean, look at that gold grab. It hasn't been past 500 gold difference the entire game, which is very impressive considering there have been towers dropped. Both on the side of Poseidon, by the way, so in theory it should be way more in favor of Duza, but that's of course the Alchemist for you. Experience graph, same story. It's never been past 1k experience in favor of either team, even though we have 2 kills in favor of Duza. Experience is still in favor of Poseidon. Again, Hand of Midas there on 2 heroes works, of course, in the favor of Poseidon in this case.
Yeah, this is very unlike the Russian Dota I'm used to. Very passive, sit back, relax, farm it up. It's almost like the Russians are learning from Chinese and the Chinese learning from Russians. Picking up Spirit Breaker, I don't know what Xiao 8 was thinking, but he is definitely shaping up his game. And now we're gonna see a Tiny Shadow Bladed, not Shadow Blading for the TP, but I think this is Illidan's death if there is a dust. No dust actually. So he is gonna get out alive. So
Oh.
very unfortunate. Limbo.
Oh,
Oh, what?
What?
Oh,
What?
big mistakes were made.
I think they
And
could have
Mil-
killed that.
I don't think they could have killed Tiny, so they're gonna back off there because if they had gone there and relocate cancelled, I think he would have definitely died. Now they bring him back and they get pushed away with that. Yeah, they get pushed away with the cogs. That nice stun.
There's
And it's
Avalanche
gonna
trying to
stun
dodge, but the
himself.
stun will still hit. Nice Sprout. See, coming in. That will be Limbo in a lot of trouble. We'll end up going down. Across the map, it's a 1-for-1 trade though, because Timbersaw went down in the mid lane. I think he got a bit too trigger happy earlier on.
Yeah. I think it was a little bit of a mistake, Tiny hanging around a little bit longer. I think he was just thinking maybe I would just stick there, but his 3 supports are in the middle lane, so Poseidon does know that his supports will not be in position, so they can take that fight. Wisp and Alchemist. Alchemist sitting very tanky as of now. BKB up on him, Shadowblade, Threads, Salt Shield. A lot of HP. With his ultimate, he has actually a lot more HP, 1800, so it's gonna be very tough to bring him down. And OD in the middle lane, low HP. Has to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, we do have, by the way, because of that kills, the BKB ready on the Alchemist. He is so fat right now. It's quite insane. He's only been involved in the 2 kills. I mean, there's only been 2 kills on Poseidon. But with that Hand of Midas, with that maxed out Grievous Greed, I mean, it's starting to get out of control here a bit. Duza, they really need to make something happen for them to get the game on their side. Perhaps try to make a go here in the mid lane. In comes an Illuminate, but Limbo coming in with an Avalanche toss. That's going to be 1 Crystal Maiden down the drain. And of
Keeper
course,
of the light.
or that's what I meant. But yeah, but there's no Illuminates coming through.
They both give mana. Oh, hookshot. Gonna whiff there,
both
but
give mana, yeah.
if they hit Alchemist, it would have been a very big pickoff. Again, I think Clockwork not packing Dust is a big mistake. He should be packing Dust or at least even a gem. CM is just a little bit too slow to party, so if Clockwork does catch someone off and they pop the Shadow Blade in time, he could get out before CM even gets anywhere close. But like I said, Tiny will have to just hide somewhere, pick off that Keeper, and take a lot of towers. So I hope this is what they plan to do. Keeper is back out. The Wrath of Nature does buy them a little bit of time. So now they are forced to back off once again. And the tier 1 middle sitting at close to pristine amount of HP, 1293. And Nature's Prophet takes a tier 1 in exchange. This is not good for Duza. Especially this best of 1. They can't afford to lose this kind of games.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I fully think that Duza should try and make something happen. One thing that we know from Duza though is that they are very good in fighting also from behind, in making those, like, is the moment that Poseidon makes a mistake and overextends somewhere, Duza will be the team to make them pay and actually take buildings and structures in return for it. So if it does go late game, I wouldn't count them out completely just yet, but they're definitely not playing the kind of game that you would expect from their lineup compared to the lineup of Poseidon in this one.
Yeah, Tiny still needs a whole bunch of items, and I don't think they have the time to farm it, because by that time Alchemist will be really huge, and there's gonna be a Prophet, very fat, rushing around just picking you off. There's a 4-staff even up on him. I'm not so sure about this, but a 4-staff will be picked up by the Nature's Prophet, I think, for a little bit more survivability. Doesn't run to add that invisibility pressure and force Duza to get a lot of reveal just to pick off the Alchemist, as though KSI are going to be taking it 1 for the team 4-staff instead of Shadowblade for escape purposes, because Blink Dagger is really pointless on Nature's Prophet. And KSI, of course, he will be able to get that farm if he gets that money. He's gonna maybe get a Deso, maybe get a Necro 3, and that's when all the towers start crumbling. And with the towers starting to fall here, Duza, they're gonna find himself in a lot of trouble. OD hasn't been making any plays, he's been farming. That's all he's been doing. He has a 4-staff, he has a mechanism, and it's 107 CS, but 0 and 0 and 1 he has not been partaking in a lot of stuff. CM is 1 and 0. The Clockwork is 0-0-0, Visage 1 kill only. So this is not the kind of start that Duza actually wanted. They wanted something very aggressive, a face rush, just run them in the face. You have Crystal Maiden for early aggression, Visage, Tiny. But I like what they're doing. They're taking Roshan, and this is the advantage they need.
Oh, relocate on top of it though. They're gonna be in time perhaps. Rage is on the floor, nobody picks it up. Tiny picks it up now, and Io already dead. It is gonna be Clockwork that drops afterwards. Capron got bursted down by Crazy. Limbo still in this. BKB nice toss out of the pit. Limbo trying to Shadow Blade himself away, as we have got the rest of Poseidon looking for Duza, and Duza dying by the bundles. Only Limbo left alive. Kills off C to make it a bit more even. Limbo still at that Aegis. He's not gonna try and chase more though, but he did manage to at least make it a 2-for-4 trade. At least he keeps his Aegis, so the so close. So the advantage that Duza gets from the Roshan is still there for the next fight to come. But Poseidon, I mean, in a game where there's not that many kills happening, they get themselves 4 heroes dead on the side of Duza. That's a big deal, especially since, of course, Alchemist did not die and took a bundle of those kills. He is now involved in all 6 kills, got 3 kills for himself, 3 assists. He's looking pretty happy right now. Apart from that, he didn't manage to get the Aegis, of course.
Yeah, but well, on the bright side, Nature's Prophet did take a fall there, so that's gonna slow down that split push. That's gonna slow down his farm a little bit. And I was wrong about KSI. He is no man. He goes for Shadow Blade as well. He is not gonna be taken for the team. He feels like, no, you should not be the only one going to invest. I am gonna play the coward as well.
Oh.
So KSI, he will be backing off there.
Limbo is in trouble. Limbo just gotta relocate on top of him, or at least people found him. He will end up losing his Aegis here. He can't really punch down the Alchemist. Here comes a hook shot. That will be a dead IO. Can they turn this around? Can they kill off the Alchemist? He was gonna get recalled by the Keeper of the Light, but at least there was someone to hit him. So they end up trading the Aegis for a kill on the IO and the Alchemist. That's worth it. Although, Alchemist didn't really lose that much from it, because the Assault Cuirass that he wanted to build was already done. It's already sitting in the courier.
Yeah, this is just insane farm from Alchemist. I mean, this is why you don't let an Alchemist start with free farm without taking a lot of stuff, and they didn't really take anything other than one tier 1 tower up top. The tier 1 bottom fell eventually, but look at GPM. Look at the GPM for Alchemist. It's 710 compared to Tiny, who was, well, at the start of the game balanced with him, 450, but now Alchemist is out of control, and even without a Battle Fury. So Illidan making the right choice to not be greedy there and go for the Battle Fury, and now the Shadow Blade actually paying off very well. And with this Assault Cuirass, I don't even see Duza killing him at all without being able to banish him. And wow, KSI playing very ballsy.
Yeah, they're gonna try to maybe go in from all sides. They come. It's only 3 though. 3 up against. Oh, never mind. There comes the other. It's gonna be 5 versus 5. Relocate comes in. Avalanche already tossed. Down goes the IO. Perhaps no. He keeps himself up. It will be Crystal Maiden that drops first. Capron still stunned up. Will get taken down. That's 2 kills for Poseidon. They'll get a tower with this as well. But that's all. At least Duza does not lose more. In the end, it's a tower trade and 2 kills for Poseidon, though. Again, a trade in favor of Poseidon.
Yeah, but, well, the thing about this game is that I feel that OD hasn't been making much of an impact. This is why I generally don't like OD. You pick OD to win your lane, and when you win your lane, there has got to be a good reason. There's going to be a Banish and Alchemist. You can see if anything does happen here. There's a good follow-up stun here, and there's a hook shot. It's going to land, but again, no detection on Clockwork. I feel that this guy has not been... has been costing them quite a bit of kills. The other time as well, he could have gotten the Alchemist if he had Dust, and he didn't. And in the end, it turns around and got a Tiny kill instead. So I think Mip should really get a Dust here. And like I said, the Clockwork isn't doing anything. The OD as well. This is why I don't like OD as a pick. He's good, he wins his lane, but apart from that, unless he snowballs really hard, he doesn't do anything. Which is why I never actually favored OD as a competitive pick, because I feel that only certain players can do very well with him. I think the Zenith X player Yamate did a very good OD. He knew how to snowball that hero. I think Mushi did as well, but very few of these OD players actually know how to contribute as an OD. They farm. Yes, they do get Mystic Styles, but they do set themselves back. So they set themselves back by quite a lot. And once you face a BKB carrier like Alchemist, what are you gonna do? You can do nothing but try and right-click the rest of his supports, which in this case are all over the place. With the exception of Io, I don't think he's gonna be able to kill anything else, and he will be burst down very quickly. OD, he wins games when the team is winning. That's pretty much it.
Well, we're gonna see if he can contribute a bit more, because he will have his Mystic Staff soon. I hope that he has a Scythe of Bison soon as well. And as the game goes on, I mean, Alchemist, his BKB of course was, I mean, he was there fairly early, so his BKB will also be down to 4 seconds earlier. And maybe Duza will have a bit more luck at that point. We now also have the Aghanims ready up on Limbo, so that might make a difference. But yeah, the disable, also the detection on the side of Duza could be a bit better. Of course, Poseidon just picked off the 2 supports to fight earlier. The supports have got the detection, but Clockwork is indeed one of those initiators that need a bit of detection. So perhaps Capron can donate his Dust towards the Clockwork. That might be a good option. So far though, I mean, it is Poseidon that is determining the pace of the game. We are at 7k gold in their favor. 3.5k experience in their favor, and even though the experience is still not that much, it definitely shows. I mean, the 2 cores of Poseidon are the Alchemist, who's sitting at level 17, and a level 15 Nature's Prophet, with the highest 2 on Duza, level 15 and level 14, so quite a big difference there. And now also a Basher ready on Alchemist. I mean, this is starting to get really scary for Duza, but if they can hold on for a longer time, Poseidon, they're going to have an Alchemist that's almost already full slotted. What's going to happen when the game goes on long enough that OD is actually full slotted, that Tiny is actually full slotted? They should be at some point getting ahead again, although you will have to deal with the split push from the Nature's Prophet, and that's a whole different story, of course.
Yeah, it's a good point. You can say Alchemist, yeah, he's really farmed everything. The problem about Alchemist is he hits his late game very early, and that's one of his benefits. Is also his problem, because Alchemist, he hits 6 slots really fast, but sometimes he doesn't match up against other heroes with 6 slots, which is why heroes like OD, they do hit 6 slots very much later than Alchemist would. But when they do hit the 6 slots, and when your BKB is sitting at 4 seconds, that's when you find yourself trouble, because in that you better make good use of that 4 seconds you have on your BKB. Or if OD actually gets the jump on you, that hacks as well as the subsequent burst from the orbs as well as the ultimate can bring you down so fast you won't even be able to say Ice Frog please. So it's gonna be very Alchemist, yeah, he could be in trouble here. I mean, what I like actually is Tiny. Tiny actually using, oh well, there's a stun on one of the supports there. Are you actually dodging it? But Keeper will disappear in a smack, and now there's a BKB, and like I said, OD is gonna evaporate right now.
Yeah, we're gonna also have Caprone just gets taken down. The BKB of Illidan too strong. Limbo Shadowblades himself away. They're trying to chase him down. They actually have vision of him. Indeed, a gem. That's gonna be a Limbo down. That's gonna be 4 heroes on Duza down. And the only one that they got in return for that, a Keeper of the Light, who, by the way, bought back because Sakura apparently rich enough to buy back, as Clockwork still gets taken down as well. That's a team wipe. And this is looking to be like, if Poseidon wants to, they could try to take this high ground and maybe force out some buybacks. We do have a buyback up on Limbo and up on the OD as well. I think if they try to go for high ground, they will force them out.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
We'll see if they try.
Drag Alchemist to extremely late game where he doesn't really get anything else other than sitting on gold. You could have a little bit of a fight in you, but at this stage, Tiny hits so
yeah. You just
slow.
I think your Skype is kind of lagging.
He doesn't have his Wisp with him. Am I?
Yeah,
okay.
or at least you got cut off slightly. Oh, Io still got brought down here. Here comes a stun up on Limbo though, and in comes the Alchemist. Already turned his BKB back on again. Limbo trying to run. This time able to make it. Perhaps he can do something to the Timber Saw here, or Toss there helping out, but the Timber Chain away. Soul Assumption will clean him out though. Sanity's Eclipse completely wasted. Nobody sees the gem that's lying on the floor.
Yeah.
And Sakura thinks free gem. No, he goes down. Alchemist want to get away here though. But again, no detection. And if they only had picked up that gem, they would have gotten themselves perhaps another kill. And I think that Skype is back again, so that's cool.
Okay, yeah, Alchemist picks up his Abyssal Blade on the way home, and well, I wouldn't consider that a throw. It's a Rex for 2 support heroes. I think that is more than reasonable for Poseidon, and you don't want to be a Rex down 30 minutes in against a Nature's Prophet. That is definitely not a good feeling to have. And well, Nature's Prophet isn't even fat yet. He only has Shadow Blade, the 4-staff, the Midas, and well, we see Alchemist actually picking off Tiny once again.
That's
so
a solo kill.
Carry, easy kill here. Abyssal Blade makes. Well, Abyssal Blade is just a nail in the coffin against anyone Alchemist catches out with his stun, because the damage coming out, very few will survive at this stage. I mean, there's Acid Spray with a -6, there's a Assault Cuirass -5, there's a -11 on anyone who gets hit, and Tiny isn't well known for his armor. If you look at him now, he has 5+5.
Yeah, it's not that strong. And I mean, with an Assault Cuirass already up for Alchemist, he kind of needs one too. Like, there's just no question about it. He needs one. Because he's also, when you're fighting a man fight up against Alchemist, you're going to stand in that Acid Spray. And you need that extra armor.
Yep, BKB doesn't just cut it. And he does need a BKB, speaking of that, because the Alchemist stun is just a little bit too painful for him. Even the Mana Leak will be a big problem. Timber Saws, spells, all going to do massive damage. And now we see Alchemist going to be catching him, meet the best. And he's gonna get a defensive banish here from the OD, but the Timber Chain's just gonna fly out there, cut a few creeps down, and the Keeper Blast was gonna miss him there. But good save here from the OD, but still a small victory. Roshan is back out here, so Alchemist will be finding himself a second life. Probably gonna gonna sell his Midas to the shopkeeper now.
Yeah, I think that would be a good choice too. And by the time that his Aegis disappears, he'll have himself enough gold to buy his sixth and final item. He's checking if there's people around here. I don't think Duza can try to take this though. Duza's just, well, they probably have to. They can't afford not to. So they're gonna try to go in. Let's see how far they get though. They've got all 5 people coming in. Poseidon is ready to take the fight. The Chakram already waiting out. Limbo coming in. They won't be able to find anybody anymore. Poseidon keeping safe, keeping to themselves. They have got the place warded, so should Duza try something, they'll be able to come in themselves, and that's not going to end well for Duza. So Duza backing off. Tier 2 tower, the last one that's still standing on the side of Duza, will probably be under siege soon. Poseidon not going to let it go. And Alchemist slowly but steadily ticking towards perhaps the 1k gold per minute mark, which apparently is only reached 10 times in professional matches thus far. But 820 right now for Alchemist.
Yeah, and well, I don't see anything that can stop Illidan this time, because Tiny, he has to make a choice, assault or BKB, and I think either way he's pretty screwed, because if he goes for BKB, yeah, he will have free reign, but he will have to hit something, and while he's standing still, Alchemist is going to beat him up or beat up his entire team, and that is when Tiny cannot carry your entire team, because he lacks the attack speed from the Assault Cuirass, and if he does go for Assault Cuirass, he gets a stun, he's dead. So either way, I think he's caught between a rock and a hard place, pun intended. The smoke is gonna be missing there. CM dies in 3 hits. BKB, no problemo. Sakura is just gonna blinding light him just for a while. Their mana leak, like I said, gonna cause trouble. OD and an entire squad gets cleaned out by the Alchemist. Alchemist is gonna get pushed back by the clocks. And oh, KSI dropping really low there. Nice stun here from Tiny, but OD's ultimate does absolutely nothing. And now Illidan, he's looking to get his ultra kill, possibly a rampage here, gonna get banished by Legion, and Tiny still chasing on the poor little blue ball. He is gonna go down by the OD, and Illidan, is he gonna run? Yeah, he's gonna toss the stun there, and he will toss the stun on Tiny. That's gonna be his ultra. No ultra. The time there has lot, and now, well, that's technically a rampage, I think, and it might be GG.
It could be indeed.
OD
We
has
have
bought out. Tiny has no buyout, and I think it really might be GG, because I mean the Wisp isn't here, but I think Alchemist alone should be enough to clear another set of racks. Surprisingly, he's not gonna try.
He's gonna wait
There's
for
only
his
CM and
teammate.
Visage. There is no way they can. Oh yeah, this is
Oh,
over.
and
That's
gets a double stun.
Courier, free courier as well.
Why not?
So.
Free courier. I mean, this is basically everybody died apart from Alchemist now several times, and Timbersaw, he denied himself. He suicided. It was very early. Like he was still on 25% HP when he suicided or something. But he has so many charges on his bloodstone that he's already back, respawned and all. And this is gonna probably be game. Poseidon with a fat Alchemist. They do not want to wait it out. They know that later on, the longer they wait, the more they are gonna give to Duza in return. And right now they're ahead. So why not just take it? And right they are. They're not even gonna try for Roshan. Perhaps they're not going to rotate top just yet, and it looks like they are indeed backing out. They're giving Duza a bit of mercy here, I believe, because I think they could have taken it, but giving Duza another chance.
Don't really want to throw, yeah, but I don't think it's a chance. They don't stand a chance. Short of 2-3 straight throws, I don't see a chance in hell that Duza coming.
It's Russian Dota. Throws are not uncommon.
Yeah, it is not uncommon, but they're gonna get Aegis and cheese now. There's gonna be a butterfly on the Alchemist, and another little thing to note, of course, the Radiant Courier did save the gem that Duza very happily left on the ground there. So another unfortunate thing coming out here, and Visage.
What was you doing there? A bit miss micro there.
It's the hook on the CM, so he's gonna hook his own team. Cogs don't work on BKB anymore. Illidan's gonna get frostbitten up. Oh, this is their good chance here, and that's a very good chance. OD nearly get a kill, and again without the detection, they will get Jotum. But oh wow, they tossed the
still
OD.
there. Force up forward.
No detection.
Nope,
yeah,
blinding
no
light as well. They could have gotten that kill. They have a
support spend.
No, they have a sentry of the high ground, but it was not enough.
They needed to dust there.
They needed dust. They definitely did. I mean, they also had a gem up on the clockwork, but it was just not enough. Timbersaw might be in some trouble here. In comes his Proud. OD. As Storm Prison's up on Xi. As Clockwork still goes down. Now Xi will be the target. There first goes to Timbersaw. Xi's still here. Where is that Clockwork? Oh, Clockwork, of course, died.
Alchemist is sitting house in the back line still.
Yeah.
Limbo is dead. Yep. Dead.
And that's all the gems back in the hands of Poseidon.
There are 2 gems now, I think.
Yeah, they have both again.
Yeah, they have both gems, and well, that was as close as a throw you can get there. So spam all the pop champs you want, but this is not gonna turn back. And now Capron getting caught out once again. And his positioning has been pretty dubious as of late, and the relocate is gonna come in here just for ceremonial purposes. The OD ultimate does absolutely nothing once again. Limbo gonna run away. Mana Leak gonna bring him down, and well, Alchemist OP Riot nerf.
Yeah, this is kind of over. Tier 4s are dropping like flies here, and this is gonna be Poseidon. And you know what this fight actually means? Poseidon is now #1 in StarSeries for the time being. They have of course got one of the most games played, but they're now the only team that has 5 wins on their name, and therefore make it to the #1 of StarSeries Star Ladder Season 7. We'll see for how long it lasts. We're gonna first see another game. Of course, we're gonna jump ourselves to Aspera versus Next KZ, so stick around for more Star Ladder action in about 10 minutes, which is our official starting time for the next game. So stick around, we'll be right back.